Did Bernie Sanders fund the boys? Because it's not a good look for capitalism. What's up, Story Geeks? It's Jay Shear, author of the time travel novel Time Slingers and co-host of the Story Geeks podcast. What does the boys have to say about capitalism and greed? Let's dig deeper. A ton of heroes have been rich. Green Arrow, Tony Stark, Black Panther, Thor, Aquaman, Charles Xavier, and that's just to name a few. Batman has literally funded the development of a different vehicle for every environment known to man because he's got money. Money has always been a part of comic book hero lore, not because it's important, but because it's just way easier if the heroes are filthy rich. The Boys takes our modern American obsession with superheroes and adds an unhealthy dose of reality. Money-grubbing corporate bastards and greedy superheroes. Capitalism is not a good look in the world of the boys, but why is that? Is capitalism inherently evil, or is it just the best we've got? It turns out that the United States loves superheroes. Guilty as charged. And I'm not alone. In 2018, here in the US, we collectively spent over $3 billion on superhero movies alone. In the boys' version of America, the same thing is true. People love superheroes. And they want to spend their hard-earned money on them. Enter Vought, a giant corporation that serves as an agency and brand management firm for superheroes. Sort of like Team 10 if Jake Paul wore a cape. Oh no! Vought sells superheroes. Need to protect your city? Vought will sell you a caped crusader. Need to brand your product? Just add A-Train's image to a beer can and pay the Vought licensing fee. Vought even has their own superhero entertainment arm. So who's the Kevin Feige in the Vought world? How's that even possible? Because people, customers, find value in superheroes. And capitalism, as represented in the boys, allows for superheroes to be monetized. Rampant capitalism completely unchecked. That's the world of the boys. There's a moment in the show when Starlight joins the superhero team known as the Seven, where she asks, why else would you want to get into this other than to save the world? Well, Starlight, the answer is simple. Money. Okay, here's the thing. We also know that superheroes are less effective if they don't have resources. Vought provides sophisticated satellites that monitor crime, and they pay for cutting-edge research and development. All those things cost money, right? Is it okay if Vought makes money off superheroes? Good question. The Boys presents us with a pretty skeptical view of capitalism. But are the creators being fair? Should we have a negative view of capitalism? What about capitalism allows for the abuses of power we see in the Boys? Or maybe another way of looking at it, what's capitalism's biggest flaw? Probably that private corporations would gain control of the political landscape, the justice system, the legal system, all of it. Powerful corporations that control everything with no checks and balances to restrict their influence. And the show's first indictment of capitalism actually sets up the story. Huey's girlfriend dies when A-Train, a speedster, runs through her. It's totally disgusting. Vought offers Huey $45,000 in exchange for his silence. A giant corporation using its resources to bypass justice. Got enough money? If so, the justice system can be manipulated. Granted, that's not just a problem with capitalism. Bribes are a problem with any political or economic system. But Vought is a giant corporation, so in this context, it's a concern related to capitalism. And that's not all. Vought also seeks to privatize security, regionally by selling superheroes as local law enforcement, and nationally by selling superheroes to the federal government for national defense. Vought is taking full advantage of capitalism. But it gets even worse than that because it's not just savvy business practices that generate profit. It's something far more insidious and the biggest weakness of capitalism. Greed. Gordon Gekko said, greed is good, but what does greed drive Vought's leadership to do? Blackmail politicians, murder people who expose them, and push lies and deceit to fund their growth. Oh right, and they're also creating superheroes by pumping kids full of superhero serum. Vought's pushing illegal PEDs to kids. Individual greed is the biggest threat to capitalism. And The Boys does a pretty damn good job of showcasing how insidious greed can be. I have no idea how Garth Ennis, the original creator of The Boys, or the people at Amazon who made this show actually feel about capitalism. I mean, they're probably making money off the show, so. But I believe it's a writer's job to explore the truth, both in the individual human experience and truth related to the systems that we create. One overriding truth about capitalism is that it allows for, and some might even argue incentivizes, greed. And when people become greedy, bad things happen. We see it all the time here in the real world. Corporations sidestep justice. People take advantage of others. All in the name of greed, all with the goal of making more money. It doesn't matter if the creators of the show are pro-capitalism or anti-capitalism. The writer's job is to showcase what's happening. Why? So we can create better systems and be better people. With capitalism, greed is a problem. Whether we're pro-capitalism or anti-capitalism, we should probably call that out and figure out why. The Boys portrays broken people doing broken things in a broken system. It's a realistic take on the superhero genre, and it showcases an important truth. People like you and me can get greedy, and if we do, we can take advantage of other people. And sometimes we build systems, corporations that operate based on our personal greed, just like Vought. All right, final questions for you. Do you agree with me that The Boys showcases modern day concerns with capitalism? Are there ways to fix those issues, or is Bernie right? Maybe socialism is the answer, or is it something else entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all the questions raised by The Boys. Leave me a comment down below with your take. And I have a lot to say about this, so if you want my answers to all of these questions, head over to patreon.com/TheStoryGeeks. I'll answer all the questions I've raised here and more, all for free. But I'd also be super grateful if you supported The Story Geeks on Patreon. So while you're there, please consider becoming a supporter. The link to Patreon is in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and if you liked today's video, greedily hit that like button. Actually, maybe just press it respectfully. Also, click the subscribe button for more of my thoughts on The Boys. I have a whole video series coming up with more big questions. And finally, question everything in your favorite geek stories and always seek the truth.